Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another very merry edition of From the Coach's Seat. I'm Coach Greg Atkinson. Tonight, we're going to talk about the pitching rule, the hybrid pitching rule at the high school baseball level. We're also going to talk about official and unofficial visits to colleges and what that means to you as a student athlete. And we're also going to talk about some of the questions you should be asking as you go to visit these schools, whether officially or unofficially, or even just having the discussion with coaches on the phone. Let's start with visitations. Official and unofficial. And why is that important to you? We see a lot of guys in this day and age that wait until they already commit to a school to take their official visit. Well, you're missing out on a great opportunity. At the Division I and Division II levels of the NCAA, you're allowed 5 official visits. You can take as many unofficial visits as you would like. Well, what's the difference? Well, an official visit is when the school and the program pay for you to come and visit their school. They'll pay for an overnight stay, they'll pay for 3 meals each day, and they'll be able to pay for you and both your mom and dad to be able to go to a sporting event there at the campus. All of those things are permitted in an official visit, and that's what makes up an official visit. It gives you an opportunity to see what it's actually like to be a part of the school, to be a part of the program as you'll meet the coaches and some of the players, and what it'll be like just to be on campus and around the daily life. Now, here's where guys mess up. They wait until they've already committed, they take their official visit, and then hope they like it. Well, you're allowed 5 of those. Why? Well, let's narrow your schools down like we talked about in episode 1. You start with 5, 10, 15 schools, right? Actually, you probably start with 15, 20 schools, and as you narrow it down, you get down to the top 5 schools. When you get down to the top 5 schools, that's when you take your official visits. You take 1 to each school. Like I said, you're allowed 5 official visits at the D1 and D2 level. You can only take 1 per school. You might as well use each and every one of them. Learn something about the schools that you're interested in going to. Be able to sit face to face with players on the team and with college coaches sitting across from you and guiding you around the campus. This is a great opportunity for you to learn about a school that you're probably going to be attending for the next 3 to 4 years. So make sure you understand that. Unofficial visits, you can go as often as you would like. If you and mom and dad want to pay your own way, go up to the school, walk around campus, look at things, go to games, whatever. As long as it's all on your own dime and as long as you guys are just kind of doing it on your own, you can take as many of those as you would like. At the Division III and NAIA levels, you can have as many official visits as you would like. You're still limited to 1 per school, however. So you can take several visits to Division III schools. You can take 5 visits to Division I and Division II schools, and there you might be able to see just exactly what you're looking for and find the perfect fit between you and the school you want to attend. Now, when you're on these official visits, what kind of questions should you ask? Well, we've talked about some of these things. In episode 5, we talked about financial responsibility, and that's some of the questions you should ask while you're there. In episode 4, we talked about a day in the life of a college baseball player. We got the opportunity to speak with former college baseball coach Jeremy Sheetinger, and I want to thank him for being on the show. And he kind of led us through what it's like to spend a 16-hour day in the day of a baseball player at the college level. In episodes 1 and 3, we touched on the academics and the things that it would take to academically be eligible to get scholarships, maintaining that 2.5 GPA, and those types of things. And that kind of goes with the questions you should ask. You should ask academic questions and what's expected of you in classroom. You should ask athletic and recruiting questions. How many guys are they recruiting at your position? How many guys are they expecting to recruit out of your class to come play at their program? These are important for you to know. Am I going to play as a freshman or sophomore? Or do I have juniors and seniors ahead of me that I'm going to be sitting behind? These are all things you need to understand before you actually commit to go to play somewhere. Expectations in and out of season. Most of these programs, even when you're not in season, have expectations for you. They want you to go play in a summer league, or they have certain workouts they need you to do. That way, when you come back for the regular season, you're in shape, you're ready to go, you're sharp as a tack. So you need to know the expectations both in and out of season. And then one of the most important questions you need to ask is, what is college life like there on the campus? Do the ball players stay together? Do they all have a dorm for themselves? Do they get houses off campus together? Is it all off-campus housing? All off or on-campus housing? These are things you need to know. Where do you eat? Can I have a part-time job? How can I get extra money? These are all things you need to know as far as your campus lifestyle and what things are there. What are there to do around there? Is there, if you like to shoot pool, is there a pool hall around there? Is there a student center that you can go spend time at? These are things you need to know before you commit to going to that school. These are the type of questions you need to ask. And then the last type of questions you need to ask are questions specific to you. Where do you see me in your program? What are the next steps you need me to follow? Do you need information from me? Do you need transcripts from me? What is the next thing you need me to do to you or for you to be able to come to this school and participate with you? Real quick, we're going to touch on the hybrid pitching rule for high school baseball. Now, this is just in high school. This rule does not apply to college or to the major leagues. I'm not 100% sure why they put it in at the high school level. It's a rule that doesn't make much sense to me. But we have to talk about it. The hybrid pitching rule is this. As a pitcher, there are only 2 legal starting positions. You either start with your pivot foot engaged with the rubber and the other foot directly in front, 90-degree angle in front of that foot. So they're both on the same plane, facing the dugout. Your head is toward the plate, all right? This is an official starting position. That's a stretch position. The official wind-up position is both of your heels must be even with the rubber. Now, that doesn't mean both have to be on the rubber, but they must both be even with the rubber. So you can't start with one foot in front of the other and start a wind-up that way. That is a hybrid position. A lot of guys are starting this 45-degree angle, and they have one foot slightly in front of the other, and then, of course, they step back and start their wind-up. That's illegal at the high school level. That's going to be called a balk. And so you need to understand that. Umpires are starting to call it. Umpires are starting to understand it a little better. Over the last 2 years, they've really started to enforce it. So these are things you need to be aware of. If you have any questions, of course, you can always email me at coachatkinson14@hotmail.com. Again, that's coachatkinson14@hotmail.com. You can follow us on, or subscribe to our YouTube at Coach Atkinson. You can follow us on Facebook at Skipper Atkinson, and of course, Instagram and Snapchat, Coach Atkinson14. I want to take this opportunity to say very Merry Christmas to each of one of you for following us. We thank you for your questions and taking the continued time to watch our videos. Hopefully you're learning something. Hopefully we're helping you get to the next level. Remember, your dream without a plan is simply just a wish. Have a plan. Drive that dream forward. Succeed. Be everything you want to be. Your limitations are only set by your own expectations. That's the only thing that matters. Not mom and dad's, not what your high school coaches think, but what do you think you can do? What are your expectations for yourself? You set those expectations high, you're going to be very successful. Once again, have a Merry Christmas. We thank you for watching. I'm Coach Atkinson from the Coach's Seat.